Guard from Baylor. We've had a few Baylor guards go in the first round the last couple of years. Keontae George, Jacoby Walter in the last 2 seasons. Edgecombe is going to go higher than those guys. 24 usage. He's almost 20 years of age. He averaged... I guess his numbers won't really blow you away when you look at the numbers, like 16.5 points per 36 minutes. He shot 34% from three. The one thing that will stand out, though, is the the steals. The 2.3 steals is huge. The idea with some of those previous players that I mentioned, George and Walter, is I hated the film on them. I hated the what I saw in terms of shot selection and like, guys, what is this percentage? Why are you taking these shots? What actually are you doing on offense half the time? And I'd say most of the time in the NBA so far, that sort of played out that way. Edgecombe's not really at that same extreme high usage, just bludgeoning your way to big numbers. He's quite a different prospect. So we'll start with the deficiencies here in terms of the offensive side of the game. What can he, like, 24 usage, again, not a super high number as a prospect. Can he be a high volume guy? Or is he more of that actual, like, legit 3-and-D guy who's going to work on that shooting, going to work on that, but never going to be an offensive primary number one, but he's going to work defensively. He's going to be that two-way guy. And the comparison that gets thrown around a lot is Victor Oladipo, of that sort of a player. Like, and Oladipo did have those periods where he did spike to the high usage. How do you view the offensive usage and centricity around Edgecombe's game at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's the $1 million question. It's probably what's pushing him into number 3 talks at the moment. If NBA teams really think he can be that number 1 or 2 option offensively, then they're going to gamble on him there. And if they don't, there's a world where the handle doesn't come along. And like you said, he's more relegated to that 3-and-D, and they don't want to gamble on him. So to me, you touched on tape. I think the tape is huge with Edgecombe. Outside of the numbers, Jacoby Walter and Keontae George, like you said, bad shot selection, didn't always play the right way constantly. Edgecombe is gritty. He's nasty. He gets in the trenches, does everything right. Didn't have that high usage, but didn't necessarily need it to put up flashy-ish stats on a good Baylor team. Scott Drew's system is not historically one that's easy to thrive in. He did it. So to me, I think he has the pedigree. I think he has that boost of athleticism, which is going to be able to help him translate just easier in general. Always does with guys like this. So I lean somewhere in the middle ground, maybe a little bit more positively towards him being an actual scorer in this league, a guy who can fill it up.
So we look at the numbers here, like 78 from the line is pretty good. It's not elite, it's pretty good, right? 34% from three, it's below average, but it's not dreadful. It's okay. It's not 29%, but it's not 38%. So in terms of how he can develop into being a scorer, is it turning into a guy who takes 6 or 7 threes a game and hits 2.5? Or is it a guy that relentlessly attacks the rim? Or is it a guy that works through the mid-range or through drawing fouls? What's the thing that could actually propel him there? What do you have more confidence in? Being an attack guy, being a mid-range guy, or being a three-point shooter?
I think the best thing about Edgecombe was his blend, honestly. I think he can score inside, middle, or from beyond the arc. I think he showed prowess in all 3 areas. Just given the athleticism, I probably lean most positively on the inside scoring. I think if the handle doesn't develop the way people want, maybe if the passing doesn't come around and he can't play in the point guard role, then I think that inside scoring, getting out in transition, spotting up, doing things like that is probably the easiest way for him to find initial success and then build from there. And then obviously the outside scoring, like you said, not perfect, but not bad. It got better as we went on. So I think there's a lot of tangible upside in VJ Edgecombe.
On the defensive side, like the steal numbers are really strong, and we've seen plenty of players come in from college to the NBA with high steal numbers. Doesn't mean they're going to be good defenders in the NBA, but it generally means they're going to have some success. Is he a legit defender? Are the steals real? Is he this pickpocket guy? Is he a passing lane guy? Or is it just an athleticism thing that helped you generate those numbers, and maybe in the NBA he's not going to be as impactful defensively?
It's a little bit of everything. And the best part is that I think he can still refine his game a lot on the defensive end of the court. He's by no means a perfect defensive prospect, and he was still able to put up these stock numbers. He jumped passing lanes. Some of the blocks, if you just watch his blocks tape, are completely absurd. Like a 6'4" guard should not be making these types of plays. So it's a little bit of a combination. It's some IQ, putting himself in the right positions. It's the athleticism. It's a little bit of that extra length that he's got relative to like a point guard. He's a great defender. I think he's going to be a great defender in the NBA, just given his combination of everything.
That's interesting. Like you talk about the blocks, right? So my immediate brain just goes and goes, okay, Derek White, right? Derek White's offensive game does scale up, it scales down. He's very strong defensively. He's one of the best, if not the best guard shot blocker, along with Dwayne Wade and Danny Green in NBA history. Like, is that the sort of like mixed offensive two-way guy that you could see developing here with Edgecombe?
I like the general role and usage. I don't know that he has like the feel that Derek White has. Obviously, he can scale so well because of that feel for the game, because he can go up and play above his offensive limitations, or he could scale down into a role and be really, really impactful in that. I'm not sure Edgecombe has that same level of just feel for the game in general. It's inexplicable. It's unquantifiable. You just have to see it in tape. I'm not sure he has that, but the athleticism helps kind of bring that around. And then you can always develop things like this. You can always get better with your general basketball IQ. You can always get better. Just generally, I mean, you see it all the time. Players aren't drafted to be what they are, and then they skyrocket. Shea just won MVP, and he's a guy who came in as a two guard that people thought would play defense more than offense. So there's a huge potential for Edgecombe to get better, and I think he has a great baseline of skills.